What's up, everyone? This is Casual Talk here. Something that I wanted to point out while driving to work. Times is getting complicated and rough for a lot of people. We're in a day and age where there are people who are also at fault for the reason why the homelessness is increasing in major cities. Because most people, let's keep it real, there's a lot of people out there, if not many, but most. Many people likes the idea of moving into the major cities because of the glamorous lights. They got this idea, they have the main character syndrome, where things is gonna go their way when they move to a major city. All their hopes and dreams is gonna somehow magically come true. And that is not the reality. The reality is that the homeless crisis is increasing because most people are selfish and not thinking about the accountability and the effects and the problems of the cost of living increasing. Everything is going up, especially the rent. Everything else is going up except for the minimum state wages. And if the wages on certain jobs is increasing, now you have to bring more to the table, so it's more highly competitive. And the more the rent is increased, especially like major cities like Los Angeles, San Diego, New York City, like Manhattan and Brooklyn, right? And certain the nice luxurious parts, right? Where the luxury apartments is, luxury houses, etc., right? It's going to be more competitive. And the more competition it is, the more there is competition, the more people are going to be dog eat dog. People will more likely double cross you, turn traitor, and they're going to make it about them first before they make it about you. That's why you have to be real honest with yourself, especially if you plan to move to a major city. There's going to be competition. People are going to fight to survive to make it out there because they're thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about their best friends, their besties. In most cases, people are going to think about them at the end of the day, no matter the situation. If they're on a last resort, or they're in a position where they're about to get evicted or kicked out of their apartment, they're not thinking about their best friend. They're thinking about, how am I going to pay this rent? What money can I have to secure my spot here at Los Angeles or New York City or Charleston or any major city out there in the United States? And let's keep it real. The cost of living in major cities is going up because of the rise of a lot of rich people moving in. More people are moving in. The attraction of people, it's attracting a lot of people. The movies promotes it, especially major cities in Texas. It gets promoted in movies, TV shows. Social media influencers is promoting these type of places. They're giving these people an idea that you can make it out here. But then the cost of living is increasing. There's a major homeless problem in a lot of these places, and people doesn't understand why. The real truth is that the people that are moving into these major cities, they're part of the problem. They're part of the problem. What do you do? What do you think is going to happen if you make a trend become a trend? Something does not become a trend out of nowhere, just like that. The more people is influenced and talks about and move to one major city or one major part in the United States, the more the market is going to increase, the demand is going to increase, the cost of living is going to increase, and guess what's going to happen to all the people that's already living there? They either have to grind harder, they have to get a second job, a lot of cases, they probably don't have a career, and in many cases, they could get evicted or get an eviction notice. So now those people are forced to leave, find a cheaper place outside of their comfort zone they're gonna have to be stuck moving to an area or a place in their hometown or in their state, depending on the state. They're gonna have to be forced to move out to a place that they don't even want to live in. They end up moving in a bad area because, let's just be real, most areas that are cheap and cheaper from where you normally live, most of the time there's going to be either a high crime rate, or a lot of people is not talking about that area, and it's a more of a suburban urban life area. It's more of like, for instance, it's more of like a suburban area where it's just nothing but houses and trees, and there's not much to do. There's no city life. It's dead. Pretty much it's dead. This is coming from a New Yorker. I used to live in New York City, and I was blessed and fortunate enough to, of course, even though I grew up in the projects and the area was rough, I minded my business, and it was a blessing that God kept me alive and I made it out safe. And one of my sisters showed me the reality of the cost of apartments in New York City. A one-bedroom apartment at the time, just for yourself, one-bedroom apartment on average is between about $1,800 to $2,000 a month. Just for a one-bedroom apartment. Either you do it by yourself, or you get a roommate, or you're married. Two heads is always better than one. It's true. Two heads is always better than one. Now, I'm just going to be real honest with you. I'm in college because I want to make it. I don't care about the next man, what the next man is doing. I'm not worried about what anybody else is doing. I'm worried about me. I'm worried about my kids. And at the end of the day, I have to worry about myself first, because, of course, God is first, but comes next, family and all that. But your health is important. You have to think about your livelihood, your career, and how can you be able to take care of anyone else if you can't take care of yourself? I'm just going to be real, like I said from the beginning of the video. The lack of accountability, unawareness, and selfishness and ignorance between people when it comes down to moving in a major city. A lot of people are very closed-minded and ignorant, and they have a main character syndrome. There's a lot of young people that is attracted to the hustle, fast life, Miami, all these major cities in the United States. And guess what? When they move there, it's too expensive. I can't do it no more. My wife has been watching. I'm going to be real honest with you. My wife has been watching a lot of YouTube vloggers, influencers, talking about, Miami, California, Maryland, certain parts that are hyped up by the media. Because I'm just gonna be real honest with you, my wife and I have in mind to move to Los Angeles, right? And it irritates me that there are so many ignorant, naive, closed-minded young people that are probably in their early 20s, early 30s. They think that everything's going to be glamorous and gold and everything's going to go their way. They have that main character syndrome. And it's cringe. It's cringe. They don't have a grasp of reality. And when you don't have a grasp of reality, you are going to be sinking alive. You're basically dead meat to society. People are going to look at you like if you're crazy. You cannot think that you can make it with a regular 9-to-5 job in a major city such as cities in like Los Angeles. And most of Los Angeles is not expensive, but it's just the major parts where there's a lot more to do. That is the areas that's the most expensive, like San Diego and Los Angeles City. There was one point I was thinking about moving to Maryland. I also have that in mind too. And of course, if you want to live in a safe, comfortable environment, it comes with a price. It comes with a cost, especially if there's a lot to do and it's in a city. Okay? But let's just be real. The homeless problem in major cities is a real thing because, let's keep it real, most people either they can't afford living there in that area, they were evicted, or there's people who are just homeless that end up just traveling to go there because of the climate, or in most cases, like I just said, people got evicted and kicked out of their apartments. Let's just keep it real. And how are they getting evicted and kicked out? Because there's a lot of people that are moving into those cities because of the hype behind social media, the trends. They're the reason and part of the cause on why the rent in major cities is increasing, because more people is continuing to move there, and the more people that continue to move there, the more the demand is going to increase, and the more people are going to be like, you know what, I'm going to move out. I'm going to move out. A lot of people can't afford to live in a major city. I want to live in a major city. I'm just going to be real honest with you. This is coming from a man. I used to live in Brooklyn, New York, born and raised. I moved out from New York City when I was like 22, 23, after I got married. I moved to upstate. I thought about the cost. Upstate New York is very cheap for a reason. There's not much to do. There's not much to do. There's lack of transportation. You gotta have a car to make it. We thought it would be, I just don't want to live just to exist, just to save money. I still want to live. It comes with a price. Okay, then that means I have to get myself together. From upstate New York, my wife and I decided to move to South Carolina. We moved in North Charleston at first. It was not for us. We moved from there to Summerville, South Carolina. Now, we're at a point where it's like, there's not much to do down here. A lot of people are talking about moving to Charleston, and Charleston is not all that great. I'm going to work in Charleston right now. The city Charleston is like the major part, one of the major cities of South Carolina that is always hyped up behind social media. It's not all that great. It's really not. Sure, there's a lot to do. Hustle and bustle, right? But it's not that great because it's not that big. There's not really... there's a lack of transportation, like a bus and train system. Especially, there's no train system down here unless you want to travel out of state. But in the state, you're pretty much on your own. You need a car, and traveling by a bus is slim to none in South Carolina. The bus system down here sucks. And a lot of people, from what I've seen and the conversations and comments that I heard from them, the transportation down here sucks. That's why I want to move out. My eyes has been set on Los Angeles, California, and my eyes has been set on Maryland as well, Silver Springs. Nice, top quality areas. Very nice. Nice infrastructures, nice community, diverse. That is intriguing to me and my wife because it works for us, especially both of us being black. Okay? And we have 2 children. Okay? We just want to live comfortably, live nice, and have things to do. I'm in my early 30s. She's in her late 20s. We want to somehow enjoy life while it lasts. Okay? And it comes with a price. It comes with a hefty price. I wanted to make this video to point out the ignorance, the main character syndrome that a lot of young people, naive young people has about moving to Miami, Los Angeles, Charleston, because it's a major city somehow, like New York City. You're gonna make it, oh my gosh, because of the movies, because of the celebrities, oh my gosh. Oh, Kim Kardashian lives in Los Angeles. Oh, right, so what? You got Kim K money? Do you have a plan? Where's your finances? Mommy and daddy's not gonna take care of you forever. It's called reality. If you don't got the money, the career, or the funds, or the security to make it out in even a major city like Los Angeles, California, or New York City, you're gonna get eaten alive. Your pockets is gonna get eaten while you're alive. And it's gonna be very stressful. Why do you think so many major cities? It's a dog-eat-dog environment. Most people is not there to make friends. Most people are there to enjoy their time and their lives there. I am so sorry. I did not have the best relationships or best friendships growing up in a major city. This is coming from a man who used to live in New York City. Sure, I had people who are acquaintances, people who I hung out with, right? But everyone was just trying to make it. Coming across a friend is very rare today. As you get older, and if you do have friends, those friends are just there just to use you, benefit off of you, or just keep you around. In many cases, a lot of friendships out here today is superficial and it's fake. I've came across a lot of people who spoke about Los Angeles, and a lot of the things that they said is that it's hustle and bustle. And a lot of people are more to themselves. A lot of people are more dog eat dog. A lot of friendships did not last because those people that they met that they were really cool with, they realized the cost of living is too high. They can't afford the rent. They end up moving out. There was a video of a woman that she said some of the friends that she made, they did not even last a month to 3 months living in Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles. You have to think outside the box. The idea for me is not to move in a major city, but to move near a major city or move closer or out of a major city where I can still travel. That's why having the transportation, having a car is important. I'm driving in a car. Obviously, I have my driver's license, thank God. I know how to drive. This is not to brag. I'm humble about it. I know how to drive. And I'm thankful that I know how to drive. I'm thankful for that, okay? I'm thankful. All I'm saying is that you want to make it in a major city, you have to have careers. You have to be book smart. You have to make money. You have to make money. You can't just move in with your savings and get a 9-to-5 job. Look on Indeed. Look at the average jobs, the average cost of jobs today, the average cost of 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartments just to live in a major city in Los Angeles. And look, I'm a family of 4. I'm not thinking about apartments no more. I'm in a place right now where I want to rent in a single family home, possibly a townhome, depending on what happened, Lord willing, I get a single family home. And I'm thinking about my family. I'm thinking about having peace, having a peace of mind. No more neighbors, no more dealing with people banging on the wall, people complaining about the kids being loud. I want to rent out in a single family home, live in a major city, live near a major city for a few years, and when I reach 40, close to my late 30s, early 40s, have the finances, have the right credit to buy a house in the state that I'm living in and settle down. Why do you think I highly encourage people, and other people would too, to buy a home? Sure, the home market is expensive, but like I said, everything nice, everything beautiful, everything safe comes with a price. Things that are not safe, run down, sketchy, just for you to save some money in your pocket and still enjoy a major city, it comes with stress, it comes with problems, it comes with a lot of ghetto people, and it comes with a lot of crime. And people have to consider that as well before moving into any major city. Let's just be real. I'm just gonna be real honest with you, okay? For any one of you who's thinking about moving to Los Angeles, Texas, the major cities in Texas, major cities in Florida, major cities in Los Angeles, Maryland, New York City, right? Look at your pockets. Look at the career you have. Are you financially set? Can you afford to live there? Are you confident that you can have a career where you're making $40, $50, $60 an hour? It doesn't have to be from college. Do you have a trade job where you're guaranteed to have a job? Because let's just be real, certain major cities and certain areas, certain jobs can't thrive. That's why I recommend people to go and enter in the medical field, because nurses and anything in the medical field that pays well, They're always in high demand because they need people. They need workers. And it's highly competitive. You have to be very book smart in order to make it. You have to have the good grades in order to make it. Hey, you could be a plumber, electrician, police officer, firefighter. That works for some people. That doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me, but it could work for some people. Hey, may God be with you. But more of the story, a lot of people are at fault for the reason why there's a homeless problem in major cities. You're a part of the cause why so many people are being evicted and kicked out. You're a part of the cause following trends and thinking ignorantly. It's not that I'm following trends either because I want to move to Los Angeles, California. It's because my wife wants to move there. I want to move there. We like the city lifestyle. And I like to go out. I like to walk. I like to explore. I like to drive around. I've always been like that. I got that love from my dad. Okay? And my wife has that love too. To travel. Have a sense of freedom. Just to look around. Be safe. Explore. And it comes up a price. The homeless problem is going to continue to increase because a lot of people are moving into there. And yes, it's a state problem. I get it. The state needs to provide more housing, more opportunities for the homeless, and the people that are going to be evicted. Let's just be real. Los Angeles is very expensive. You want to live in a major city? Get yourself together. You want to live in a nice area where you can also be by the city and have a good time? Get yourself together. Get yourself together. Grind hard. Study. Do what you're supposed to do. Okay? It's not easy. It's not easy for nobody. There's no magical La La Land, no main character syndrome, things are going to go your way. Nah, that does not work that way. This is real life. It's called reality. Okay? And I'm praying for God to be with every single individual out there who is lost, naive, ignorantly thinking that they're going to make it when in reality, it's called reality. Think outside the box, guys. That's all I got to say. Casual talk here. Peace out. Let me know what you think.